The big choice when buying lenses, a prime lens or a zoom lens. Let's first discuss what a prime lens and a zoom lens is. A zoom lens is, well, like the name suggests, it's a lens that you can zoom in or out, letting you cover a range of focal lengths. This basically allows you to include more or less of the scene without moving or doing anything really. All you need to do is twist the zoom ring, and that's it. On the other hand, a prime lens covers only one specific focal length, meaning there is no zoom ring. You will have to move physically to zoom in or out. They both have their good points, which I'll talk about next. Prime lenses. As said before, prime lenses have a set focal length. You need to move to get closer or farther from your subject, so it requires you to move more. But because it is a set focal length, this means that prime lenses are usually smaller and lighter. This means less weight to carry. When moving around from location to location or when going for a long photo walk, trust me when I say this, every gram counts. Every gram counts. Lenses being smaller and lighter also mean they typically attract less attention. Walking around in public, I'd definitely be able to spot a photographer with a big zoom lens compared to someone walking around with, let's say, a small prime. They also are typically faster in terms of aperture. For example, a 35mm prime lens can come in f1.4, f1.8, f2.8, whereas a zoom lens, the fastest ones I've seen at least, would be a f2.8. Zoom lenses. With zoom lenses, there's really only one word needed to describe it: versatility. Zoom lenses allow you to effectively have many prime lenses all in your one lens. As mentioned before, you can zoom in or out via a zoom ring, changing focal lengths anytime you need to. 1 second you could be at 70mm and the next you can be at 35mm, all without needing to switch lenses. Trust me, it gets really annoying real fast. There are also situations when I wouldn't even want to change lenses, like on the beach or in the rain. For me, and probably for many others, I use both for specific reasons. If I'm in a new city, I would definitely opt for a zoom lens. Give me a 16-35 and a 24-70, and that will honestly cover 99% of my needs. Hell, even the 24-70 would probably cover 95% of my needs, as the 16-35 would only be needed for the wide end spectrum. This lets me worry about capturing what I want without worrying about what to bring for the day or changing my lenses during the walk. I just grab my camera and start the day and just start taking photos. When I went to Seoul for the first time, I was going around town and I can't even count the amount of times I swapped lenses. At a certain point, I just left my 16-35 on my camera, and that probably led me to missing a couple of shots just because I didn't want to change lenses for the millionth time. For these situations, a 24-70 would honestly be my best friend. If I'm doing night photography and need a high f-stop or don't want to carry around a big lens, I'll opt for 2 prime lenses or so in my bag. I try to limit myself to 2 primes or else I'd be swapping lenses like crazy, and in that case, I might as well just bring a zoom lens. With primes, I find it simplifies my photography process as well. I just focus on the lens I have on my camera, and that's it. I just start taking pictures. Even if I want to zoom, I can't. I have to move in order to get what I want. This also helps me see and get used to the view of a specific focal length. At a certain point, you shoot with a specific lens for so long, like I have with my 55mm, you start getting used to that focal length and how the compression is, how tight or wide the focal length is, and so on. So which lens? Well, we've seen the pros for both zoom lenses and prime lenses. So which should you pick? Well, it depends honestly. If you have no idea what you want and you value versatility over everything else and don't mind having a bigger setup, I'd say opt for a zoom lens. If you want to carry as little as possible and just want to walk around taking photos as simply as possible, I'd recommend a 35mm or a 50mm prime lens. Either route you go with, you'll probably end up owning a combination of both primes and zooms, as there's very good reasons to own both of them. Like our camera, lenses are also tools that let us capture what we see and want in a photo. For me, there is no better or worse when it comes to prime versus zoom. It's just a matter of function and which lenses fit into a certain situation. Sometimes that may be a prime, and other times it may be a zoom. Whatever decision you make, just get out there and go shoot. Until next time.